I'm Janet Morana, Executive Director of Priests for Life. Welcome to our program. Well, my favorite Christmas movie is A Wonderful Life. And of course, many of you know the famous line when the little girl tells the daddy, oh, every time a bell rings, the angel gets their wings, right? And I just love, especially at the end when he opens the book and he says, attaboy, Clarence, and winks, and you all get all that great teary feeling. But did you ever think about how did the angels get their wings? Right? I mean, we know when the bell rings, they get their wings, but how did they get them? Okay, the bell isn't giving them their wings. Who's giving them their wings? How did this all happen? Well, I have a special treat for you. Today, we are going to learn about this brand new book by my dear friend Anthony DeStefano. And first, I'm going to let you listen to the story. And when we're finished listening to this wonderful story about how the angels got their wings, you're going to get to meet the author himself. And boy, oh boy, am I going to grill him about this book. So let's listen now to how the angels got their wings.
How the Angels Got Their Wings, written by Anthony DeStefano, illustrated by Antonio Javier Caparo. Who is that angel that we see, perched atop the Christmas tree? And how can angels fly so high, soaring through the snowy sky? And why do angels dress in white? And do the angels ever fight? Who made the angels? Any clue? He who made them made you too. So listen, children, gather near. Listen now and you will hear an ancient tale that's true and thrilling, sacred, stirring, sometimes chilling. There isn't any other story filled with so much grace and glory as the song Sweet Heaven sings of how the angels got their wings. Our God is King. He reigns above, the source of life, of joy, of love. He made the moon, the stars, the sun, and rested when his work was done. But when he made this grand creation, before he laid the earth's foundation, he made great spirits full of might, invisible, yet formed of light. Some stayed good, and some turned bad. One of them was proud and mad that he was not the king, mad at God for everything. The devil, Satan, that's his name. Either one means just the same. He led some angels to rebel. God cast those demons down to hell. Michael helped to chase them out. A war was raging all about. He drove the devil and his legions down to hell's dark, fiery regions. Saint Michael can protect us too from all the sinful things we do, helping us to fight temptation, battling for our soul's salvation. Archangel is Saint Michael's title. 3 of them are in the Bible. 3 who carry out God's plan. 3 who serve both God and man. Saint Raphael cured Tobit's blindness, healing him with God's great kindness. He put some oil on Tobit's eyes, and Tobit saw the bright sunrise. Saint Raphael can help us heal, no matter how unwell we feel. He lifts our spirits when we're low and helps our faith in God to grow. Saint Gabriel was sent to earth to herald our Lord Jesus' birth. He looked at Mary's shining face and told her she was full of grace. Saint Gabriel can help us speak, even if we're shy or meek, and spread the news to everyone about the Lord, God's only Son. But there are more than just these 3. many more whom we can't see. There are guardian angels too, watching over me and you. Throughout our lives, they guard and guide us, always standing right beside us. We'll never, ever be alone. They're even with us when we're grown. There are angels everywhere. We can't see them, but they're there. Angels by the Christmas manger. Angels saving those in danger. Angels dressed up in disguise. Angels there when someone dies. Millions up in heaven bringing blessings down to all the living, bringing hope and consolation where there's death and desolation. But if you really want to search, look for angels in your church. That's where angels gather most, before the consecrated host. God made angels long ago. They serve in heaven and below. He gave them wings so they could fly across the vast and sun-filled sky. Sweet messengers from paradise, they teach us love and sacrifice. They fly from heaven to the ground, invisible, without a sound. But you can sense them in the air, especially alone at prayer. They're present in so many things, in summers, winters, falls, and springs. Like when a children's choir sings, or when a morning church bell rings, or in a mother's love that clings. Or in the joy a story brings of how the angels got their wings.
I hope you enjoyed that. And now I'm going to introduce to you the author. And this gentleman has been working with Father Frank and I here at Priests for Life. He's one of our executives. I mean, Father Frank and I, we're out there in front speaking, but it's Anthony DeStefano behind the scenes that keeps everything running on time. And so right now, the famous author, Anthony DeStefano. Welcome to the program, Anthony.
Thank you, Janet. You always give me such a big send-off.
So how many children's books, this is the most recent, how many have you written thus far?
I think there's 15 or 16. It's around that number. I'm not exactly sure, but about 15.
They're all amazing. Of course,
Thank you.
my favorite is still your first, Little Star, the Christmas story. That will always remain my favorite. But how the angels got their wings, you heard me refer to It's a Wonderful Life, Clarence, and every time the bell rings. Like, what gave you the idea for this particular book?
Well, the story of the angels is very compelling and it's very entertaining. It's got everything. It's got the battle between good and evil. It's got all these interesting characters like Satan, the ringleader of the demons, and St. Michael and St. Gabriel and St. Raphael, the archangels, and it's got guardian angels. It's much better than any of the cartoons that kids watch on TV and any of these Marvel comic book movies. And of course, it's got the advantage of being a true story. Angels are real. They're not make-believe. They're not fairy tales. And the invisible world is real. So, and I think that's good for children to learn that so that they don't become these atheistic, secular materialists. So I've always wanted to write a book about angels for children. But then, you hit the nail on the head. When I was this last 2 Christmases ago, I was watching It's a Wonderful Life for the billionth time. And that particular line about how does an angel get there, or about angels getting their wings when a bell rings, gave me the inspiration to say, that's something I could springboard off of with a nice title, like How the Angels Got Their Wings. So I had the idea all along, but as so often happens with me, something gave me the title. I think it was probably my guardian angel who gave me the title. And that's what made me write the book finally.
Well, and talking about guardian angels, Anthony, when I was a little girl, I went to Catholic school. And so we were really taught a lot about our guardian angel. We were all taught that guardian angel prayer to say to our guardian angel. But I think, sadly to say, in the world we're living in, I kind of think people are forgetting to teach children, right? Because, I mean, if you learn about your guardian angel as a child and start praying to them when you're young, it can carry you through adulthood. But don't you find that the guardian angels are kind of getting forgotten?
Yeah, they're not only forgotten, they're pretty disrespected. Imagine if you had a friend or a family member who kept helping you throughout your life, in many different ways, even in unseen ways. And then when you saw this person at a party or something, you didn't even thank him, you didn't even say hello to him. Well, it's much the same with guardian angels. It's the teaching of the Catholic Church, a doctrine of the Catholic Church that from infancy to natural death, we are surrounded by angels, especially one angel in particular, our guardian angel, who is given to us by God to help inspire us and to help us and guide us and guard us and even protect us from danger sometimes. So imagine we have this spiritual, powerful creature from the time we're in our mother's womb to the time we're on our deathbed, and we never, reach out and thank them or even give them any notice whatsoever. So I think you're right. We have to stop being rude to our guardian angels. And I think especially in today's day and age, Janet, I'm sure you'll agree, we're in an age of loneliness. I mean,
Right.
all these cell phones and the tablets and the iPhones and the video games, these encourage children to go inside themselves. And, I think there's never been a time of greater social anxiety than we're living in now. And that leads to loneliness and despair. But knowing that you have a guardian angel who's always going to be with you, I think that will help children as they get older to not be lonely, knowing that they have this great helper, like an older brother or sister with
Right.
them forever.
Well, I think too that this book, like if parents want to know, well, where do I begin? I think with this book is a great way to start to teach a child about, after you read them the story, then you can go a little bit deeper with them and say, oh, do you realize you have a guardian angel? Like I don't think parents even tell their kids anymore about guardian angels. I mean, I know the good sisters in my school, and when I was a kid, they told us all about our guardian angels. And we were told, like, besides praying to Jesus, well, if you're nervous about a test before the test starts, say to your guardian angel, oh, keep me calm during the test, or some little thing. So they kind of taught us to kind of, like you're saying, rely on your guardian angel a little bit, talk to your guardian angel. And then when something goes right, like you just said, thank your guardian angel. I think it's a whole part of our theology that's just kind of missing. And, when you think about, Anthony, during the whole COVID shutdown, when kids were isolated, they weren't with their classmates, they weren't playing with other kids, the kids were getting very fearful. Boy, oh boy, if more of them knew about their guardian angel, I think, don't you think that would have helped children a lot?
Yeah, I think it would have. It's important for our Protestant brothers and sisters to know that when we pray to our angels, what we're really doing is we're asking angels to pray to God for us, to Jesus for us. So it doesn't take away from our belief in the centrality of Christ to believe in angels. God uses angels just like He uses human beings to help us. They're just another means of help and assistance that God gives us. So there's nothing wrong with approaching them in the same way that we approach our friends and family for help. Nothing
Right.
wrong with that at all. It's an acknowledgement that there's an invisible spiritual world out there. And I do think what you said about pandemic and there are other evils that children are very aware of, school shootings and
Right.
terrorist attacks and murders and rapes and, pandemics and all of that. They're aware of. We can't hide. You can't ignore evil, Janet, because evil is not going to ignore you. And
Right.
so we need all the help we can get. It's a very tough life we're living. There's suffering, there's pain, there's all kinds of obstacles and challenges. There's also the devil and his demons. Those are real, and this story addresses those evil beings too. So yes, we need as much help as we can get. And I think that if a parent really wants to help their child, one of the things they could do is make sure they instill this faith in all of God's creatures, including the angels, from a very early age, so that their child can enlist the help of those angels as they get older.
Right. And of course, all your children's books have beautiful illustrations, and you've used several. I'm going to open up the book just so people could remind them how beautiful the illustrations were. We saw them, during the book being read. But tell us a little bit about this illustrator, because I mean the pictures are just beautiful in this book. How did you find this gentleman, and tell us a little bit about him?
All right. Well, this is the first time I've ever used him. His name is Antonio Javier Caparo. Is a Cuban born artist who lives in Canada now.
Wow.
And he has worked with National Geographic and Disney and all the major publishers. Really gifted artist. And he specializes in doing fantasy science fiction books, but also very realistic books. And I wanted the angels to have a bit of that superhero look without being cartoonish or from a comic book. Because I think angels are much more compelling than Batman or Superman or any of those Marvel comic book heroes. So I wanted them to have that look, but I wanted them also to look realistic, because they're not make-believe. They're not fairy tale. And Antonio is able to paint these, grand, panoramic, sweeping pictures of God creating the universe. And at the same time, he could also paint these little intimate scenes of a child under a Christmas tree with the angel on top of the Christmas tree. He combines all of this. That's what I wanted, and that's what Antonio does. And so I think I really found a great artist for this book, and I've gotten nothing but positive feedback about it.
Right. Well, no, I know here at Priest for Life, we have this book, brothers and sisters, at our online store at prolifeproducts.org. It's getting a big response, Anthony, here at the home office, just so you know. A lot of orders go out every single day of this book. So, brothers and sisters, if you'd like to get a copy, you go to prolifeproducts.org. Place an order there. And of course, what you pay for the book really becomes a donation to Priest for Life to help us with our life-saving work, especially now that we've seen the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Boy, do we have a lot of work to do, don't we, Anthony?
And, Janet, the reason I think why the book is doing well with our audience is because angels do play a part in this pro-life movement of ours. Without questions, angels are powerful allies in our struggle against evil, and in particular, the evil of abortion. In fact, they were among the first to ever preach the gospel of life, beginning with, St. Gabriel, the archangel's visit to Elizabeth and Mary, proclaiming the birth of Jesus and John the Baptist. Think of that unborn baby, John the Baptist, and think of Jesus, John the Baptist leaping in his womb when Jesus was there. Those weren't blobs of tissues, of course. Those were people, in one case, a divine person. So it's an important connection between angels and the pro-life movement. And also one more point about that, all of the children that have been killed through abortion, they had guardian angels assigned to them. They had, but guardian angels and neither God nor guardian angels overrule the free will of man. And so they couldn't prevent the abortions that the mothers and fathers had, but they were deprived of their job, so to speak, and it's good I think that's something that children would be interested in, the fact that guardian angels had a job, but were deprived of it by abortion.
That's right. And of course, and if there are any children watching us right now, know that you do have a guardian angel. You should be praying to them. You can even talk to them, before you fall asleep. I know I find sometimes at night, if I'm having trouble falling asleep, sometimes I'll pray to Jesus and I'll say something to my guardian angel before long. I fall asleep. It does work. It really does work. I want to impress upon people. Well, besides this book, Anthony, you wrote for the kids. Oh, years before this book, you wrote another book. I'm going to give you a flashback here. Angels All Around Us. And actually, this is the second title, because originally you wrote this book called The Invisible World. And that's what you were getting to, that there's this whole world that we can't see, but exists, right? So tell us a little, because like the children's book, that's for the kids, but this is for the grown-ups. Tell us a little bit about Angels All Around Us.
Sure. Well, first of all, I want to say that the book for children is for adults too. I write all my children's books, as you know, with in mind the fact that the older brothers and sisters and the aunts and uncles and the fathers and mothers and grandparents are going to be reading those books to the children. So hopefully there's something in the children's book there for the adults too. As far as that book goes, yes, you hit the nail right on the head. It's really a book about the whole invisible world. In this society of ours, this secular, materialistic society, we believe that there's nothing but atoms and molecules, and that's what the society tries to tell us. But in reality, even if you don't believe in God, we know that the most powerful things, the most important things in life are invisible. You can't see love, you can't see honor, you can't see dignity. And if you do believe in God, well, then you know that God the Father is a spirit. We know that God the Holy Spirit is a spirit, and you can't see him. Angels are spirits, demons are spirits. Grace, you can't see grace, that's invisible. So there's this whole, as you said, invisible world. And if we want to make sure that our children are not taken in by the propaganda of the anti-Christian, secular, materialist society, then I think we should start instilling them and remind adults about the presence of these invisible spiritual realities. And that's the purpose of that book right there.
Right. And so here at Priest for Life, Anthony, we are running a great deal. Normally, How the Angels Got Their Wings is a suggested donation of $18, and Angels All Around Us is $10. But if they go to our online store at prolifeproducts.org, this is a special, I call it the Janet's Angelic Bundle. You can get both books for a special donation of $25 to our ministry. So if you go to prolifeproducts.org, you can place an order for How the Angels Got Their Wings and Angels All Around It. Of course, if you want to order them individually, that option is still there. And it's so funny, Anthony, we just had someone call our office the other day, and they have 6 grandchildren. So they placed orders for 6 of these books, but they wanted them shipped directly to the 6 grandchildren all over the country. So
very nice. I love that. And I want to say also that make sure that everyone out there knows that I'm not getting any money from the sale of these books. All that goes to the ministry, to the pro-life work of Father Frank Pavone, and all the good work that you, Janet, and everyone there at Priest for Life does.
That's right. And so people should know that, Anthony shares his talent here of writing these books with Priest for Life. And in addition, Anthony heads up our entire fundraising team, our finance department. And so it's Anthony and his team that kind of helps all the projects that, Priest for Life does through Father Pavone. It all is made possible because of Anthony's tireless dedication to us. Anthony and I have been working with Father for over 30 years together. And so, Anthony, did you ever think we always believed we were going to see Roe v. Wade overturned, but all these decades together, it actually happened. We're still here and it happened, right? Isn't this exciting?
It is. First of all, you're being too kind to me when you say all those nice things. I just oversee those departments. I'm not the one who runs them. We have great people at Priest for Life. I don't do too much compared to you, let's say. But no, I did think that we were going to overturn Roe versus Wade, but not for many more years. I didn't think that it was going to be something that I would see, this quickly. Actually, we have been working at it for 30 years now, Janet. But it's still a shock. And of course, the work's not done, as you know. It's just a milestone, as Father Frank says. It's not the final victory at all. We won't have final victory until abortion becomes unthinkable, as Father Frank says.
That's right. I really thought, this January we'll have we would have had the 50th anniversary of Roe v. Wade. We'll still mark that anniversary because it's still, to me, the American Holocaust. But I really thought we were going to get to January and still not have seen it overturned. I was like you, Anthony. I thought, probably in a few more years, But I'm just thrilled. I feel like it's a promise kept to Norma McCorvey, as you know. We promised her we would keep working on it till we saw, and she's the Jane Roe of the Roe v. Wade. We keep working till it happened, but it really did. But to go back to your books, I just want to tell everybody, first of all, believe it or not, Anthony writes these books after his workday at Priest for Life. If you can imagine, he's very talented. Weekends, evenings, or he gets up at the crack of dawn. He gets an idea early in the morning. Isn't that kind of like what happens to you? Like you get an idea and you'll get up at like 5 a.m. and start writing?
Not exactly, but I get ideas. I get ideas at mass, maybe because I'm not paying as much attention as I should. I get ideas when I say the rosary. I get ideas when I'm at Eucharistic adoration. It's not natural for me to do those things, to be so spiritual. I'm actually, me, I'm a new Italian New Yorker. It's not natural for me to be overly spiritual, if I could use those words. So God knows that, and so He gives me all my inspiration at these places that I didn't used to go to when I was younger, and I think it's because I do go to Eucharistic adoration and Mass as much as possible that God picks those places to give me inspiration, and I believe that it comes through my guardian angel. In fact, there's a picture in the book that I dedicate that book to my guardian angel, and there's a picture there that's sort of an homage to Norman Rockwell, in which a frustrated writer can't have any, who can't get any ideas. Yes, is trying to come up with something at his desk, and his guardian angel whispers an idea into his ear, and you'll see surrounding me over there, because it's supposed to be me, are various characters from my other children's book, including Little Star, Janet. And those represent ideas that I believe came through my guardian angel. Because yes, God speaks directly to you and I. He speaks directly to us. But He uses the angels. Remember, He told Mary about the birth of our Lord through Saint Gabriel. And He told Saint Joseph to escape to Egypt through a dream and through angels. So if these are the greatest, most holy, saintly people of all time, and God used angels to speak to them. So I think that God uses angels an awful lot to speak to us, and we just don't know it. And someday, hopefully, when we get to heaven, when we find out when we were helped by angels, we're going to extend a big, hearty thank you to all of them.
Well, I see some of the symbols here, Anthony, and I recognize them. Of course, there's a little star. Here's the puppy that nobody wanted, the little doggy here, right? And here's the donkey, right over here, right? That's the donkey.
That's right.
Yeah. So, brothers and sisters, Anthony has written so many children's books. One nicer than the other. So if you go to prolifeproducts.org, you'll be able to see all the other wonderful children's books. There's so much garbage out there for kids. These are wholesome books that your children will get a lesson from, but at the same time, I know I enjoy reading them to my grandchildren. Now my grandchildren are old enough, they read it on their own. So Anthony, I just want to thank you for all these inspirational books. And I know Priest for Life greatly appreciates the donations that we achieve for our life-saving work because of them. So may God continue to give you and your guardian angels some great ideas. I can't wait to hear what the next book's going to be. So thanks, Anthony, for joining me. God bless.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you.
Well, brothers and sisters, please go to our online store and place your order for How the Angels Got Their Wings and Angels All Around Us. Remember, a special Janet bundle deal for these angel books. You get both books for $25 for a donation to our ministry. Please visit prolifeproducts.org. Well, thank you for joining us today on our program. And until next time, this is Janet Miranda, the Executive Director of Priest for Life. Thank you, and God bless.